Hey everyone, welcome back to Bow Tech Live. It is Thursday, the day you've been waiting for. It's Tech Talk with Rod Dogg.
Howdy.
How you doing, bud? How
Good,
you doing, bud? Good, man. I'm waiting for. I just can't wait for elk season, man. They're coming down of the wire here pretty quick.
22 days.
Still have not shot my bow yet.
Oh, you're kidding.
Hopefully it should still be dialed in from when I set it up for turkey season. Shooting the same bow, 60 pounds. It'll do the trick. I'm just going to double check everything.
Yeah, you had to double check.
I had her dialed to 60, so should be okay.
We should be out practicing so you can guess your yardages and stuff.
I need to get that out.
Sometimes you don't have time for that range.
That's true. That's true. You know, I have to. My yardage is probably off, like we had talked about a little bit. So, thanks for joining us today. You know, we wanted to do a quick Q&A session with Dogg, and I have another event I'm doing here at 4 o'clock. But we still wanted to come to you live today because Rod is the most popular live event we have. You know, who would have thought that?
Who'd have thought?
You know, but because he's you're such a wealth of knowledge, people can relate to you a little bit. So which is good. So guys, get your questions in. I am watching right now on Facebook. I'm gonna make sure I don't have the volume cranked up. I do not. We're good. I am watching on Facebook right now. I'm gonna make sure we're loading on here. I don't see us live on Facebook. Let's double check that. So get your questions in. You know, it's a good opportunity. I know a lot of you are thinking hunting. We have elk season coming up here. I think most of the western states have elk season coming up.
And deer, don't forget.
And deer. Yeah, we do have deer. I focus on elk for season. Those deer aren't out unless you're out east, right?
I'm just focusing on deer in the vineyard.
Now where you got your turkey too?
No, I got that off the airstrip.
There's enough in there. I mean, you go people's yards around here. I think there's people paying people to get turkey.
Everybody thinks they're a novelty. After about 5 years, they don't like them anymore.
That's true. There's so many of them here. I just got to run them off. So thanks everybody for joining us. We've got a lot of people checking in here on Instagram. We have a good group dropping into. Your daughter was literally the second person in today.
On already.
Still not the first. She was the second one in.
Hi, Carrie.
So,
good luck in New York.
Shout out to Christopher Hodge from PA. Just said hello from PA. Almost the best time of the year. That is so true, isn't it?
Yeah, and it comes around so quick.
Man, it just seems like this time last year we were ready to go again. It's like Christmas.
It's amazing.
Yeah, it's Christmas for us.
The older you get, the quicker it comes around. I don't know why that is, but.
So tell us about what you've been up to for the last week since we've...
I've just been shooting, make sure I'm on. So, you know, my broadheads are ready.
They're ready to go.
I don't know what to tell you. But
my broadheads are still on my arrows. They just haven't come out of my bow at any point. So, any fun stuff you've been working on lately? I know you were scratching your head when you came in. You had a bow.
I had a pretty exciting weekend last weekend.
Yeah.
I think I dialed 911 more than I ever have in my life.
On purpose or pocket dialed it? Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. I fought fire on Beltline.
Okay.
And swinging blankets, nobody had an extinguisher. And there's this transient out there that started a fire with a cigarette and grass that tall that we haven't had one drop of rain in the whole month of July.
Bad. Yep.
So, yeah, it took off pretty quick. So on the freeway, I look over, see the flames shooting up. So I pull over, start swatting it with a blanket. And told the guy, start stomping or anything you can do, and then pretty soon a guy pulled over with a little extinguisher. He jumps the barrier and goes down the hill and starts blowing fire extinguisher out. And
blow it everywhere, or did it work?
Pretty soon he says, uh-oh, I'm out. And it was like 4 times the size now. And another trucker pulled over, and he had a good extinguisher.
Yeah.
He says, anybody call 911? And I said, I've been kind of busy, buddy.
I've been trying to fight this fire.
That was the first 911, and then I was on a motorcycle ride going through the countryside in between Crow and Notai.
Right.
And I come around the corner, and here's a car up on the bank, hood's crushed in, a lady laying in the ditch, bicycle's broken in half. And I see a guy up on the hill looking for cell service, so I know he doesn't have any. I'm not going to get it.
Yeah.
So I just downshifted a couple gears and headed straight to the No-Tie store.
Yeah, make a call, huh?
Yeah.
Wow.
So You need to dial 911.
You always have the most exciting weekends. I don't know. You always have a good story.
After I got home that day, though, I decided and told my wife, I'm going nowhere else.
I'm not leaving the house.
Sitting down.
Well, good. At least it wasn't anything, that you had to call 911 for in your house, which is good. So we've got some good questions starting to roll in already here for you. Let's talk. That's a good question because we get this question quite a bit about the single draw stop on our binary bows, like the Carbon Icon. So why do we only put one draw stop on the Carbon Icon?
Because when that cam comes around and it stops on your limb, the other cam's coming around exactly the same distance. So it doesn't matter.
And they're slaved together, so they're basically one cam system.
Right.
You stop on the limb, it's not going anywhere.
Right.
So.
And even if one cable stretches, the other one didn't.
Right.
It's still going to move the cams exactly the same amount.
Right.
So.
That's what the big difference is, especially with the dual cam versus a single cam or a hybrid cam system. You need to double up on that stop because one is slaved to the limb and you can keep rotating the other cam.
Right.
With this system, you can actually, cable stop is a little different because it's got a little give and then
give in
you
it
run two.
You can sponge it.
Yep. That's a good question. Good. We got a lot of people coming in here. I want to shout out to the folks in Reading too. I don't know if you know about this. Reading, the
fire
club. Yeah. So prayers go out to everybody down there in Reading, all over the place. But one of the biggest clubs, one of the biggest shoots here on the West Coast, the Reading Trail Shoot, Streeter bow hunters experienced quite a bit of damage. So they lost Bigfoot. I don't know if you know this
did
or
they
not.
really?
They lost Bigfoot, but they are going to rebuild. So our prayers and thoughts go out to you guys down there.
I was wondering about them. They were on the south side of the highway there, so yeah, I was kind of hoping they didn't get into it. But.
Yep, they got it. They got it. So I know a lot of people are watching. Paige Pierce, has been watching the fires and kind of out over on the other ridge. And
over 1,000 homes gone already, and 4 dead firefighters.
Yep. So we got a lot of dangerous. Christopher Hodge asked about the fires. So yes, they are affecting scouting, but more so affecting houses and lives out here. So, but thanks for the thoughts, Christopher. Scott Smith, every once in a while the cable is in the, I'm not sure what bow, maybe just a bow in general, says every once in a while the cable is in the front of pins, scrolled up, in her vision. Yes, cables in the side mount clip, issues with how she is holding back. So maybe she's getting cables in her sight.
In her sight window?
Yeah.
Yeah. There was a couple of bows that we had an issue with that.
Clearance kind of was Commander, I think.
Yeah, it
had
was Commander and the Guardian, I believe.
Right. What, Scott, if you could let us know what model you had, that way we can kind of pinpoint.
The biggest problem I see with the Commander and Guardian when I get them in here to work on is they've got their cables crossed backwards.
That's a good point. A lot of people don't know that.
The cable slides upside down.
Yep.
Because it's opposite of any bow that we've ever made.
Yep.
So I get a lot of those in.
Yep.
Most of them are crossed wrong. So
that's a good point because a lot of people, they get things out of factory specs, and a simple thing like that, like crossing of your cables. I'm just checking Instagram here. Crossing your cables can screw up a lot, and you almost have to go back to
cam lean.
Aaron Bloom. I'm going to ask Aaron. We all know Aaron Bloom. You know Aaron Bloom. Dogg, what's your opinion on the talk about lowering the legal as far as poundage for elk? Example, allowing 40 pounds for elk instead of 50 pounds. He said allowing 40 pounds for elk instead of elk. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
50 pounds.
Well, the law here is 50 right now, but there is discussion on lowering it to 40.
Yep. Why do you think that is? I mean,
well,
probably
women,
bows. That's what Aaron is saying too. Maybe how good bows are now.
Well, most women can't pull a heavy bow to start with to go elk hunting. They want to go elk hunting. So it's pretty much limiting it. Some of them.
Well, that's a good point. Aaron was saying because he says
if you keep your kinetic energy up with it, I would say it's just fine.
Yeah,
I mean,
he said
they shoot them with recurves.
Said the reason being the new bows being more efficient. But that's it. I mean, because you can shoot lower poundages, like Rod said.
50-pound recurve or a 40-pound compound. I mean, which one's faster? Got more kinetic energy. So.
Keith Rabideau asking, "Where's Tim Gillingham?" Tim is actually at the ASA Classic is this weekend, so I know those guys are traveling. I'm sure he's there today. So Got some good.
Yeah, he gets around.
Scott is asking about the razor's edge. So he was the gentleman asking about the cables in the
sight window on a razor's edge.
Yeah, so that shouldn't be doing that.
That's not normal.
So yeah, there's a couple things. I mean, what could they? It was something they take a look at. Maybe definitely have the dealer take a look at it.
You should probably take it to your dealer and have him look it over, because maybe your cables are crossed backwards on that, and your cable slides upside down, and it definitely makes a difference. So.
Get your cam lean off.
Yeah.
On that one, it can pull them over. Yeah. So take a look at it. Check your cable slide as well. Which way should it be crossed?
You're
hitting your memory. I might have got you. Huh?
Well, no, the short slide on the cable slide should be up, away from the riser. So.
Right.
And your cable should be crossed below the cable rod.
Yep. So check that out. If you're just kind of apprehensive as far as what it really is, get it to your dealer. Have them take a look at that, and they can probably sort it out pretty quick. So.
I haven't had that problem on that bow yet. So.
Yeah. Yeah, I haven't heard anything on that as well. As many as those as we sell. I mean, hands down.
No, I have seen bent risers.
That could
be a bent riser.
Didn't happen to run it over or have
horse fall on
it or anything
I've
like
had
that.
one of those.
Yeah?
Horse rolled over it.
We had somebody press a bow between bumpers of a truck.
Oh, yeah, that too.
Yeah, that doesn't work, by the way. So, Trick Corey on Instagram. How many arrows to break in the Realm X? Is it worth getting an extra set for a 5-day hunt? So strings and cables, I'm assuming. So how many arrows through a bow? Realm X.
50 shots. Put 50 shots in it. Don't even bother putting a peep in it. Just stand 10 yards from the bales and shoot 50 arrows. Then put your peep sight in and re-laser tune it and time it again.
Okay.
It should be pretty close.
Okay. We had a good question. Our Tim Glom, our director of digital strategy, was in a couple weeks ago, and I was talking to you. And there's a lot of people that ask this. Do you recommend? Normally, we don't recommend this for a long period of time. But do you recommend maybe putting the new set of strings, maybe just putting in your car for a little bit to warm them up? Or, I hear people ask that all the time. But is that a good idea? Bad idea?
It's not a real good idea if you want wax in your string.
Right.
Because it's 97 degrees outside. You got it in your nice hot car, so now it's 120 degrees.
Maybe leave it outside for a little bit. Maybe a better answer. Right? Better.
Yeah. I do it for a short period of time.
Okay.
I do warm it up and stretch everything out, but I don't let it get.
Don't put it in the car. Just
I don't get it so hot I can't touch the riser.
Yep. So there's for you, Mr. Trick Corey. Let's see. We got some stuff. So Patrice is asking. So it's written a little weird, but it says sounds like they're having a problem with the Realm, or asking a question, not a problem, but a Realm. They're getting a bullet hole in the performance setting, but not in the comfort setting. Why would that be?
Well, you're losing approximately 14, 15 feet a second. So maybe the arrow that you're using on a performance is stiff enough.
Yep.
And too stiff for the comfort setting.
Yep. So you got to look at your speed charts at that point, because you might be on the verge of another spine. Yeah. You're putting a lot more energy into the arrow when you jump that speed like that. So. It's a good question, though. It's a good question, because a lot of people think, they may have to. You don't necessarily need to retune the bow itself, but obviously your arrows are a little different there. Looks like I just had a text pop through on my phone. Joey, oh man, I knew we were going to get a question on new products. So Joey Mo 23, any more carbon risers in the future? Man, I love them trying to back us into corners like this. Rod and I love our jobs, so we're not going to answer that. But as always, stay tuned. We have new bows coming out every single year, so stay tuned.
There'll be surprise.
Yeah, you and I want to be able to come back and do this every week, so I don't think we're going to let anything out of the bag. So
probably ought to not give any information that's not out there yet.
That's true. It looks like Just Plain Lucky on Instagram. Which newer model is comparable to the Guardian?
Well, that was a pretty heavy bow. pretty forgiving bow. Wasn't all that fast, but it was smooth.
Yeah.
I would say around.
Yep. And really, it's the Guardian is what the grandfather to the realm. I mean, that was our first CP bow.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
It was. Yep.
Yeah.
That was like a huge deal when it came out with the Guardian, because that was actually, until now, because the realm is a different riser style, the Guardian was our biggest transition away from what everybody saw
Split
as
limb with the center pivot.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and it was proven to be a really good bow, which was cool to see.
you know, graduated from that to a general.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. So again, every one of our bows have some piece as you get to the realm. So, you know, that's the big thing. You know, you're going to get the same performance out of the realm and the Realm X as you would of the Guardian with a better draw. And
The draw cycle on that Realm X is special.
yeah, it's like night and day different.
It's special. It took a lot of years to get me off of a Destroyer 350.
It did. It did. We finally did it.
Yeah. It's going hunting in 22 days and a wake up.
Yep. Yep. Miller Time 3029. What cams are on the bows behind you? Those are realms. So we got the Realm and Realm X back there. So
Yeah, what else we got? Oh, that's it.
Yep. Yep. So we got the realms and then Realm X. So it's the overdrive binary cam on there. Let's talk about the overdrive. I know we've talked about it a few times. What are some of the real benefit to the overdrive binary cam system? Because we say everybody has binary now.
Well, it's actually a cam in a cam the way the axle's connected on the outside of the limb. So the cam comes around. You got that in itself.
Right.
And then you got the rotation of the axle is actually another cam in the cam. So
yep. Cam and the cam. And it gives you the ability to adjust the cam lean at that point. Yeah. Where the conventional binary doesn't. Again, another cam we came out with first, the binary. But
as long as you got bus cables on both ends, which these do, you can adjust. That whole bow can be adjusted and bullet hole to just about anybody, just by twisting the bus cable.
Yep. Yep. Well, we've done a couple of videos. I'd recommend checking them out. About a month ago or so, where you tuned the bow to you, then I shot it and was off, then we retuned it to me in a few minutes.
Yeah.
There was one that was the release, but we struggled with it, and then I shot your release, and boom, it fired a bullet hole.
Releases make a difference.
So that's a good point. Let's talk about that, because you know we were scratching our head when we were tuning that bow. You'd shoot it, you'd get a bullet hole. I would shoot it, I wouldn't get a bullet hole. I'm a pretty good shot. I've taught our bow tech universities. I've taught dealers how to tune these bows, and I could not get the tear out of it, but it ended up being the release.
Yeah.
Walk us through that. You know, that's a good point when people are tuning bows. Why would that be?
Well, it releases off the D loop. You might not shoot a D loop. You might shoot a knock set with an E button. All different scenarios. So the way the release, a caliper, double caliper, opens up this way. So it's letting go of both sides of the D loop, where a hook caliper just hooks on and releases out. So.
And I normally shoot a hook, and then I shot the caliper, then I shot your hook, and then the bow tuned.
Yeah, and don't forget back tensions. There's another one. Back tension release. So you just keep pulling, or twisting. So
that's a good point too. Anything like that will definitely change the tune of a bow. So you make sure when you're tuning it, use the release you're gonna
tune it to your stuff.
Yeah, exactly. That's a good point. So
and everybody will shoot it different. So I remember you tore to the right. Which is pretty rare.
Ken Tomita, we get this all the tomata. Sorry about that, I had to say
Potato.
When are the modular grips coming out for the Realm? Stay tuned, coming pretty quick. I know we've said fall, but soon we'll have those out there for you. So, Andrew McAuliffe, most new bows are going to split limb or quad limb. How much better are split limbs compared to single limbs? Pros and cons, or is it just a trend? So everybody's doing it. We're doing it. Matthews is doing it. Hoyt does it. PSE does it.
Yeah.
Obsession does it.
Don't forget Bear.
Bear does it. So what's the benefit of a quad lib system like that?
Some bows it's not a benefit.
Right. They got to take advantage of it, of the whole purpose of it.
Yeah.
So.
On our bows with the double bus cable ends, it is a benefit because now you can adjust one side of that rim instead of both at the same time.
Yep. And it's wider. I mean, that's the big thing.
And it's wider.
Yeah, and you don't want to take a solid board, something that wide.
2x4.
Yeah, and make it solid. You do have to give a little give there. One, it's going to be heavier. But like Rod said, it gives you the ability to adjust that cameling because you wouldn't be able to do it with a solid limb without causing some problems.
The ones that only have a bus cable on one end and not the other, then it's not a real benefit.
It's about stability. Remember the word stability. Torsional stability, as our R&D guys would say.
First split limb bow we actually made was a Cryptic Pro.
Christopher Hodge, yes, I have been to Weaver's Archery in PA, so I used to travel all around and travel our bow check universities, and I know that shop very, very well. Great shop for a shout out to them. I said we were going to do a shout out every week to one of our dealers. Weaver's in PA. Love having you on board. So, Realm is my first bow tech. I heard the limbs had issues in the past and they have been solved. Is this true? Are the limbs made in America now? It's a good question. So the Realm never had limb issues.
Realm never had limb issues.
No, Brain didn't have limb issues. I'll take this one if you want it. So we actually changed our prior to the Rain series, all of our limbs were made out of house. Or I shouldn't say it, the limbs, the material came in, laid up, we machined it out, they were made out of house. We now have our own limb making facility, limb machining facility, so we are 100% control of our quality coming in. And that's why you see...
And the process of doing it is completely different.
It is. It's totally different. That's why, from basically the day we flipped the switch go on
Rain
that,
6, Rain 7.
Yep.
No
Everything
problems.
this year, it's been great. So yes, and they were, 100% made in America from us. I think they were made in America prior to that as well. Then
Yeah, they were just outsourced the material. So
yeah, but we want to be in 100% control of our quality. So it only made sense to bring that in as well too. So. That's a good question. Doyle3391 on Instagram. I got one more from Sven. I'll ask Sven, you're next. I got a new HHA sight. It's too big to fit under my quiver on the bow now. Any ideas? Well, I don't know what quiver you're shooting, so that probably helps.
yeah,
so.
I got 2 HHA sights.
Yep.
And it is a problem with a one-piece quiver because you got the knob right there in the way.
I thought they included a standoff, though, like a spacer.
They might now, I don't know. There used to be a spacer that come with it, or you could get a big spacer like that and get your quiver away from it.
Because at one point I used the HHA as well, and I think it had a little spacer stud.
But what I did is I just went to our 2-piece quiver.
Yep.
And no problem.
Yep. So Doyle, if you could shoot me a message on here again and let us know, maybe you did, what quiver you're dealing with, and that might be able to help us answer it a little bit for you. So Sven on Instagram, what bow is better for field? The Fanatic 3.0 or the BT Mag X or the Realm X? Man, that's a tough one.
No, not really.
Depends who you ask. So.
If you're asking me, it's the Realm X.
Yeah, you know it. And that's the thing is, our shooting staff, they shoot the Realm X a ton.
Well, the grip that we install on that bow is flat in the back. It's got the ridge on the left, just like I like it.
Right,
and it runs that ridge right down my lifeline. So.
Yep. And then, let's take this past weekend was the NFAA Field Nationals, in which Paige Gore won it with her BT Mag. So, she really loves that bow because she was originally shooting the Fanatic 3.0, switched over to the BT Mag, and absolutely fell in love with it. Not that she doesn't like the Fanatic 3.0, But for her outdoor game, it's been great.
Plus,
for her.
there's all different types of shooting.
Yep.
I mean, if you got a Fanatic 3.0 or a BT Mag X, you got 3 different draw stop sizes you can put in. Maybe you shoot fingers and you want 65% let off, or
Yep.
I mean, it all depends on how much let off you want, valley you want.
Yep, that's true. That's true. That's why, try them all out. Jeremiah Weekly is asking, he said his shop didn't do the laser tune on the cams. Is that really important?
It's really important.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And you don't have to have the laser to do it.
No. It's really important that you get that right to start with, and then you shoot through paper until you get your bullet hole through paper, and then you should hit it with a laser again before you leave the shop, so you know exactly where it tuned at. So, I mean, things settle in. You got the grooves in the mod, you got the grooves in the string track, so everything settles in that after you've got it set, maybe.
And when we build them here, they use the laser on it. But even setting everything up, I check it again when I'm messing with the strings and cables, setting everything up. You get your D loop on there. Positions may change. So as you're working on it, you still got to check it. So, but you don't have to have the laser. You can do it with an arrow or do it with.
Yeah, you can get really close with an arrow. I mean, if it's ever been lasered from the factory, which it has, pull it out of the box. If you don't have access to a laser or a dealer with a laser, take an arrow shaft or anything straight and lay it against the flat of the cam, and then you'll see the angle that it's laying on the cam, like a T-squared work.
Yeah,
T-squared work. So you
you
can actually measure it out from the axle, 12 inches from the. It's barely touching the string or whatever. So.
Yep, and you want to make it. And the big piece there is you want to make sure they're both the same, top and bottom.
Exactly.
They might have a little lean on it, and that's going to cause your biggest problem is if they're not the same. Yeah. Cause that wicked S-whip in the string.
Yeah, it'll give you a little bit of fishtailing.
Yep.
So.
And that's why when we're talking about the overdrive binary system, where that is a better system over a single cam and a hybrid, because you can do that. You can take the S-whip out of the string. Yeah. You can't do that by just adjusting a single cam wheel, or the hybrid cam, upper cam, and they're different. It's like having two different, our marketing director always talks about, having two different, bigger wheel and a small wheel on your, it's got to be the same size, same shape, same weight wheel going down the road, or you're going to track funky,
Yeah.
So you even that stuff
Wonder why it's pulling to the right.
Yep. So if you got a hybrid, look at your hybrid cam. The top cam is different than your bottom cam, so logically they're not going to rotate the same in sync. So if Jeff's watching there, I had to use your analogy.
I remember a single cam bow that came out, and that was their big advertisement. You never had to time your cams. I say, okay.
Right.
Maybe you still do.
Thomas Dixon, my Romex does not fit right in my Plano case. Do you have a special case made to fit this awesome bow? Well, I have our Bowtech soft case and it fits in it. I don't know about hard case. Yeah, we don't make a hard case, but
we used to.
Yeah, yep. It wasn't ours. It was. I'm sorry, he's probably watching too. The Bowtech logoed one. We actually licensed the logo on it, but. Let's see. So Doyle said it's the stock quiver. I'll try getting in 2Bs. I would call HHA as well, Doyle, and ask them about those spacers standoffs. They might send them to you. I don't want to speak for HHA. I'm pretty sure they had something for that.
To get it away from your sight. So.
Yep, I believe so. Tyler Vance, 23. He's saying it's in store. He said, "What's in store for the next bow?" Man, they're trying to get us fired. We got some awesome stuff, and I'm excited to get it out there. I wish we could get the stuff out sooner, but we want to make sure the bows are just perfect when we launch. So stay tuned. I'm excited to get the new stuff out there. And it's a big deal. Put it that way. Lakewood, thank you, Lane. Lane Carter's watching. He knows we're talking about. Hey, Lane, thank you very much. Lakewood. So the Lakewood case, I'm pretty sure does fit. They have a pretty good size case because it's adjustable with the foam and everything else.
I got one. It's pretty.
It's a good case. It's a good case. I know we've one of our editors that we deal with a lot, Jace Bowser for Bowhunting World, he likes that because he can put his bow in it and stuff clothing in the sides.
It's a pretty heavy item.
Yeah.
It's got rollers though. So.
Yeah, it's a nice hard-sided case, but yet it's cloth. So
airplane ready, I think.
Tim Lovern, and you kind of know about the development process as far as our teams. Who is responsible for making the bows look as good as they shoot? Let's talk kind of about our product team. You know, you've been a part of our product teams that we do for each bow. Kind of walk everybody through what we do on those teams. Well, you were a part of our NPD review board that we had to present this stuff to, and you had to give us your blessing.
We have big meetings, and everybody sits around the round table and passes a item around and says yay or nay. That looks pretty good, but you could do this a little bit different or whatever. Everybody has an opinion on it, and then they come up with the final result on it. Everybody agrees on it. Signs off. Okay.
And that's a good, that's the big thing is it signs off, because Rod looks at it from a service standpoint to make sure, one, it looks something that's serviceable to where it's easy to work on for him as a service item, the quality of it, everything else. But every bow we have a team around it. So let's use the Realm X for an example. So at the Realm and the Realm X, so when we're developing those, there's a member of operations, there's a member of purchasing, marketing, sales, and then we have a project manager that leads those teams. But we're all, and R&D, I don't leave out R&D, we're all part of this whole development process in the bow. And then each of us have our deliverable pieces. So marketing, marketing sales, we work together as far as the aesthetics. So the sales guys know from talking with their dealers and feedback from the consumers, and also marketing on our end, feedback from the consumers as far as what the most popular colors are. Do they like speed? Do they like soft draw? Do they like a bow that's more accurate? And they bring that back to these meetings, and that's how we develop, we rate kind of what what our main driver is. Okay, this bow is going to be a speed bow. This bow is going to be
what's most important to the consumer, actually.
Yeah, we can make a bow all day long. Rod likes the Destroyer. He might want a super speed bow. I like the Realm X, and I want a little softer bow with some speed to it. So, at that point, then so ultimately the aesthetics generally is marketing, and then based on feedback from sales, but the decoration and the badging and everything else comes from marketing. Our team here, we have our graphic designer, Nolan, who is actually our AV guy behind the counter. He's responsible for all the cool decoration you see on the bow, the limb graphics, the badging, things of that nature. He
tries to hide in the background, but he's right there.
He does. He's right there. This room is actually pretty small, so he's not very far away from the camera here. So, that's how, and then, and this is for every product, from our mid price point bows all the way up to our high end bows. The same goes through the same development process as we go through. So, but let's see what we got. So I'm stock quiver. Take one more question if we ever. Let's see what we got coming in here. Asked about the quiver.
Don't forget to throw that Hunt 77453.
Tell us about that Hunt 7745. What do you got going on, Rod? Glad you remembered that.
Well, you only have till August 10th to get it in. So
for the elk. We have the whitetail going too, but elk, man.
You're borderlining on the elk one. So
yeah, you want to get in there. So what we are doing, we're giving away two epic trophy hunts. One for an all-inclusive elk hunt in Colorado with Nate Zielinski. And we've been doing some shares each week, and he actually just posted some. And I have some new update. He did some scouting this morning, and I will actually show you the footage. There are some absolute monsters that he's on. He's going to be your guide out there, so we're going to take care of it for you. We're going to hook you up with a bow as well.
Everything you need.
Everything you need, and Nate is going to do his darndest, and he is working hard right now, in addition to his sheep hunt, to get you on an elk. So we're going to be having some cool scouting reports coming up here pretty quick. So number one, elk hunt, all-inclusive to Colorado. You can only enter until August 10th. It's August 2nd. So
it's
you got to get
close.
on it. You got to get on it. Second, epic hunt is an all-inclusive whitetail hunt in Illinois with Mike Stroff from Savage Outdoors in the One. And I definitely recommend getting on the page when you enter, checking out some of these images. We did an interview with him 2 weeks ago as far as kind of giving us an update what's going on at the Grigsby farm. He shared some trail cam pics from 2016 of some deer that are still alive, and they're toads. So they're gonna be great. They're beasts. So, but how do they enter these?
Go to Hunt 77453.
Yep.
Text Hunt 77453.
Yep, that's HUNT to 77453.
Or you can go to our Bowtech website and hit the banner. And
Good point. So the text does not work in Canada. Sorry, Canada. So just go to the bowtecharchery.com page, bowtecharchery.com, and there's a cool banner up there that is our hunt, that shows our hunt. So click on the banner, it'll take you to the entry form. So we're going to give you, there's 2 areas you can enter. You can enter the elk, you can enter the deer, and we're going to ask you a couple of questions because we want to gauge your knowledge level in hunting, because we want to be able to come back and hit you with cool content just like this to make you a better bow hunter, and we'll do that with both. So I definitely recommend getting in there, entering them both. We'll ask you one about whitetail hunting and one about elk hunting. There are no wrong answers. Don't worry about getting a wrong answer. Just make sure you answer honestly, because this helps us create some cool Bowtech Live content in there. So.
you can enter both, but you're only going to be able to win one.
Yes,
so.
Good point, Rod. You can have them both. Make sure you do. You'd be crazy not to, but you can only win one if you win.
Some of us can't win any.
Some of us can't even enter. But I've tried, and they keep booting it out. So it doesn't work. I've tried different names and everything else, and they're on to me. It just doesn't work. So, well, brother, we have to end our time right now because we need to prep for another cool event with one of our partners. But I wanted to thank you for joining us again. We want to make sure we're doing this. We've got to go shoot against each other, so maybe I'll actually shoot my bow and get ready. So.
With a broadhead.
Maybe we'll go out to the broadhead pit at the club. And
22 days in a wake up.
Oh, man, I'm ready. I'm ready to go out there. I'll show you some photos. I have some photos from the guys where I'm going, and there's some monsters there, and so I'm excited to get out there. So thank you all for joining us on Instagram and also on Facebook. We had a great time today. Make sure you're checking back all week long on all this cool content. Tomorrow is Friday. So Jeremy Starks from Whitetail 101 is going to have a trail cam update from all of these monsters he's seeing out there. There's a couple deer that are really, really hopping on the scene now that are making their moves around a little bit, and he's able to start kind of pattern what they're doing. So
figure out what trail they're eating.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. So there's 3 cameras on there, so make sure you get the Covert Trail Cam app. Go into the guest login, type in Bowtech in there, and then that way you'll have access to 3 of the cameras on there. He's getting so many pictures that he had to empty the card the other day. It was like 1,000 or something in there. So yeah, make sure you check it out. Tomorrow we'll have an update from Jeremy Stark. So again, check us out next week. We've got a big archery tournament going on. The ASA Classic is this weekend. A lot of our big name, our Team Bowtech shooters are out there. We hope to see them on the podium. So make sure you check back next week, and we definitely want to be able to give you an update there. And all of our amateur shooters out there have been tearing it up. So again, thank you for joining us on Bowtech Live. Until next time, have fun and shoot straight.
See it.